I it's low, and I just wanted to. I'm a little nervous, and I guess a little excited, and it feels strange. It's been a year and some change since I've created a video, and I just wanted to talk about why and what's gonna happen moving forward. That I feel right now. So, um, I took a step back just to become more present in my life. There was things I felt like I needed to do in my own home. My son was about 1.5 when I was creating a lot, and I saw how fast he was developing and growing, and I wanted to become really present with him, to learn from him, to play with him, to just be with him, and be with my partner, and my family, and in my community. So I took that time. I learned from him. I saw the way he played, the way he developed. And I think there's a lot to be learned from a child. They're very they're sponges. They just absorb things and they're growing and learning and applying and constantly making mistakes, but also letting them go. So they do these things and they just move forward. So I thought that was fascinating. And I think we can learn a lot from that. And I saw it in my own life. So through him, I was encouraged to do more. So in my community, I went to my city council. I presented a project for a fitness park. I became a part of a group working on health initiatives locally. And through that, I've learned a lot. And I went back to nature. I went back to my roots, which is nature and playing and storytelling, video games and anime and movies. These are things that I love. Books, of course. All of these things that I've always enjoyed, and I just wanted to find joy in it again. I wanted to take a step back to gain that perspective that you get when you look at a horizon from a mountaintop. So I quite literally kept going to the top of a mountain and watching the sunrise from the mountaintop. And when I was up there, I got these words, and it was every mountain is a shrine of perspective. And I found afterwards, after meditating on that idea, that everything is a shrine of perspective if you really think about it. The more that we take the time to really notice what's going on around us, the more that we're able to see what it is. And for me, that's very important. And there's a user named Lifeology Education Program, and they, on Sonoluminescence, they had a comment, and it really stuck with me for multiple reasons. But it was that the soul and fool are similar words in that the S was stylized as an F in Old English, and it's also zero, which is the beginning. So the beginning of everyone's journey, we are foolish, and I feel like it's good to inhabit that foolishness because it gives us an innocence, a playfulness, a willingness to take risk and experiment. And if you look at the fool card, that's what he's doing. He's standing at the top of the mountain, almost aloof, and he has a dog next to him, maybe a loyal companion. Maybe the dog isn't. Maybe the dog is pushing him to go over the edge. But we don't. From what it looks like, it could be either way, I guess. But at some point, the fool is called to do that. He's called to make that leap of faith, to just start doing things, regardless of the outcome, regardless of the result. And if we apply our learned wisdom to that foolish act, we have a more straight path forward. The path is always going to be squiggly. It's always going to be a little bit twisty and turny. But I feel like that's a big part of it, to find those threads and pull them through your life. See, my dad, he used to call people he loved Joker. He used to say a Joker in an endearing way. And I wish I asked him why, but I think it was just a part of that culture, that time, that generation. Because there's songs about it, like Joker and the Thief by Wolfmother. And I think it's like an idea that everyone's just playing. Everyone's just playing forward. and we're all falling forward. And I think there's a quote by Emerson, which is like, all of human walking, all of human action is just a falling forward. And I think that's what we're doing. And for me, that's an important thing to let go of. See, we all make mistakes, and we all learn through our experience, through the way that we move through this life. But I think it's even more important to get some real perspective on it and not take it as negative, but take it as, this is something that we can learn from. And sometimes it's good to step back, to rest, to really take in what has happened and understand what we need to do moving forward. And I've had a lot of conflicting thoughts in the past year and a half, mostly about my identity. And and this is where it gets interesting, because like I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but sometimes I feel so different from who I was that it's hard to reconcile even who I was. And sometimes it hinders my progress, because I feel like I identify with what I was without understanding that I'm different. And to put that in context, I'm an introverted, well, I'm a introverted person by nature, but by putting things out, I in some ways have to embody extroversion. I have to push myself to my discomfort and take this leap where I put myself out there for to express myself and to hopefully allow other people to do the same. And that's my huge and foolish project, in the words of Rumi. It's to unify this idea of health with spirituality, physicality, and mentality, because nothing is separate. We're not separate from nature. Our emotions are not separate from our body. Our body is not separate from our spirit. And all of these things combined creates our lived experience. Our perspective is a collection, an accumulation of things that we've been exposed to, whether willfully or unwillfully. You can be exposed to a lot of things. But I think by stepping back and really looking into it and gathering that insight, we can move forward in a new way. So I think that it's good to be a fool. I think it's good to fail. I think it's good to make mistakes. I think it's good to take time and rest and really digest what has happened, but through a positive lens. Because if we only look at it through one way, how could we ever make progress? If we're always looking behind us, how could we keep climbing? And I think about that a lot. I feel like the mountain for me is a metaphor. That mountain I climb is a metaphor for the changes that have happened through me or to me in my life. And I just want to talk about that. And I just want everyone to realize that it's okay to not know what's going to happen next, to be uncomfortable with what you feel called to do, to strive towards it, even if it's hard, even if it's unfamiliar, even if no one around you understands it, even if it doesn't make sense. Because sometimes you get a call and it doesn't make sense, but you still feel like you must do it. And I feel like that's the most, irrational thing, because it doesn't make sense to you and it doesn't make sense to other people, yet you still do it. Yet you still continue forward. Yet it's a passion. It's something you feel worth suffering. And I feel like that's what this is. I just want everyone to realize that it's not easy and it's gonna be hard, and hopefully through a tribe of people, we can help each other, encourage each other. And I'm so grateful for all the people who took time to send messages of encouragement over the last year and some change, because it really makes a difference, and it's impactful, you know. So what I'm going to be doing in the next this coming year is trying to go through a journey with you through how I feel I've developed. And I don't know how it's going to work out. I really don't. But that's the fun of it, isn't it? To not know how things are going to work out. I think the unknown is a beautiful thing to play with, and to just step forward and to be open to new experiences, to be open to be exposed to things that might make that might just be a catalyst for change. And for me, that's what I seek. I seek things that sharpen, things that refine me, that refine the machine, the machine, not as me, but the machine as a system. And I truly believe that each of us plays an important role in this. So for moving forward, that's it. I'm open to being a fool. And this is for all the fools. This is for all the people trying to improve, because you will seem as a fool at first, because to people around you, you will be unfamiliar. If you try to change your diet, people might say, "You never ate like that before. Why do you eat like that now?" Or if you've never done something before and you start doing it, people will question it. And it's okay, because the question begins the quest. Because somebody asks you something, then you can figure out why. You can ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why do I really want to do that? And this is for the weirdos, the people who are aiming to weave their own destiny, for all the people aiming towards truth. And this is for the world. And I hope, my real hope is to leave this world better for my son. And that's really it. And I hope that, and like I said, in the coming year, that's what happens. I don't know how it's going to work. I really don't. And I'm excited and nervous because I really don't know. But I hope everyone is well, and I hope you're all good. I hope this lands on the ears that need to hear. I hope these anecdotes even make sense. And if they don't, I'll aim to improve that. But getting in my own way through perfectionism and analyzing things to the state of not doing anything is done. I cannot do that anymore. So this is just for moving forward. So take a step back, breathe it all in, and let's leap forward together. All right, peace.